Hello, this is Thomas K4SWL. If you're new here, I like to do real-time, real-life amateur radio field activation videos. And today, you can see I've got the Icom IC-703 Plus with me, and I'm at Tuttle Educational State Forest. I had some errands to run near Morganton, North Carolina, so this worked out really nicely, actually. Tuttle's one of my favorite parks, as I always say, because it just has an abundance of amazing trees for setting up antennas, so it's just an easy peasy park to activate. And I'm taking it a little easy today. I'm going to do two parks, and I'll have a little bit more time than normal because normally I would go hiking. Tuttle has an excellent trail system here, but unfortunately my right foot, I've got this, I developed just over the course of the last couple of days this massive crack in the heel of my right foot. I've been doing a lot of hiking and stuff lately, and it just popped up, and it's pretty painful actually. So I'm waiting for it. I'm trying to bandage it up and let it heal, because next week, now by the time you watch this video it'll be several weeks from now, but next week is the W4G SOTA camp out, so for Summits on the Air activators, and I'd planned to knock out several summits, but if my foot hasn't healed I won't be able to do that, so I'm taking it very, very easy with my foot this week, so it'll hopefully heal up in time. So yeah, I brought this 703 out, and I decided to pair it with an antenna. I was thinking, what can I do? I only had a few antennas in the car, and I wanted to do something a little different. And one of the really cool things about the Chameleon MPAS system, and I'm talking about the Chameleon MPAS Lite right now, is that you can configure it a bunch of different ways. I've done this before. I think I did this at Lake Norman once before, but I can't even remember how I configured it at the time. I think I actually had an extra counterpoise on here and everything. This time I don't. Basically, instead of using the whip, which would normally fit here and go straight up, a 17-foot telescoping whip on the MPAS Lite, of course you can do this with the MPAS 2.0 system as well, I have taken the counterpoise wire and attached it to the top here with strain relief, and it runs all the way up into the tree right there, and there's a little dielectric ring holding it up to make it like an inverted V position and down. I'm guessing that's up probably about 35 feet or so. This may be in NVIS territory, so near vertical incident skywave. Not quite. That is maybe a little bit high for that. I'm not quite sure. And the other side over here, I just attached it with my Hero clip. I attached it to the end of this grill right here, and it works just fine. There's a dielectric ring here, so there's no connectivity between the wire and this grill. Even if there was, I don't even know if it'd make that much difference. I'm not exactly sure how long this counterpoise is, but I'm guessing about 50 feet or something. I don't know. You'd have to look it up in the specifications. I don't have that here now. But since I don't have a counterpoise attached to this, it will be using the shield of the coax as a counterpoise. And I have it strung out here. This is a 50-foot coax that's a Chameleon coax. And at the end of it, there's a little an inline RF choke, which is a really important factor for the 703. I discovered yesterday especially, I'm not having keyer issues with this anymore using an RF choke. Now, I should say, people ask me all the time, do I need an RF choke? Do I need a common mode choke in line with my antennas? If you're using an end-fed antenna, there's going to be some RF coming back to your radio when you're, transmitting. Usually at QRP levels, anything below 20 watts or so, there's not really a need to put a common mode choke in there. For most radios, they can handle that, but some radios are sensitive, and this is one of them. Another one I have, a reader sent me months ago, is the Minion SDR, QRP SDR. And if you want to know more about that one, check out Gilles Gruesom's channel, The Radio Prepper, because he's used that radio a whole lot. A really common thing with it is it needs a common mode choke if you're going to operate any kind of end-fed antenna or something that's not balanced, because any RF back to that radio will just screw up the keying. It's so sensitive, in fact, I haven't brought it out in the field yet because I just can't even find a combination that works really well with it. But eventually I will. But the 703 is just a little sensitive. So if you put a common mode choke in, it seems to handle the keyer problem. We'll find out today. I've never used this combination with this radio ever before, so we'll see what it does. But this is set up as basically a random wire antenna. Now, I think that the matching unit down here, the it's called the Hybrid Mini or the Hybrid Micro. I can't remember which. But anyway, I believe that's a 9-to-1 in there. I can't remember, but anyway, it does a great job of matching. It makes it pretty easy for any ATU to handle it. I'm pretty certain that the 703 can do this with its built-in ATU. I don't think it'll have a problem with this. I may be proven wrong here, though. If so, I'll have to change out antennas. But I don't think it will. So anyway, let's hop on the air and do an activation. This may be my first activation of 2 today. I'm hoping I can fit in a second activation. You may notice, by the way, I'm bringing this big old Bioenno 12-volt, 15-amp-hour battery with me. I can probably get away with a much smaller battery for the 703, but I couldn't remember how much amperage it needs in transmit and everything. I know it's not as efficient as my other QRP radios that use like a 3-amp-hour battery. So I thought, I'll just throw this guy in there. It needs to be, I need to discharge it a little bit anyway. I'll be taking it with me at the W4G soda camp out anyway to use just kind of when I'm at the park, because I'll be activating that park a lot. And this battery will go on forever and ever and ever with QRP gear. So I really love it. So let's see here. Now, there is one other factor. There's a limit on how much I'll be able to do right here, right now, because I'm at the end of my logbook. This is the last 2 sheets of my logbook, which is going to make it kind of awkward if I get a lot of contacts. This is a Friday morning. I don't expect it to be super busy today. I really don't. So, you know, we'll see. If so, I can always grab my other, I have a Write and Rain notebook in here. I actually had another logbook in here, but I took it out of my pack at home at the QTH in order to transcribe into the POTA system using their new direct entry form. I've been doing that. You'll have noticed I haven't been doing a lot of Hammer's work on the side because I just find it way less stressful to deal with just listening and working this and not having to type separately on the side along with my paper logbooks, because I really do like paper logbooks. So I've been doing that. Even though it's a bit of a hassle to enter them in later, I've been doing that. So anyway, I left my other notebook there, so that's where it is right now, unfortunately. But I've got another one in the car. If I really need to grab it, I could go grab it. In fact, I got 2 more. I just don't have it here at the site. Let's see here. So what I think I'll do is actually set this up this way. Now, I've been sitting here on frequency and haven't been hearing a thing, so I'm pretty sure this is fine here. You may notice in some of my videos, you'll hear these keys clacking around. That has nothing to do with the key and more to do with just how I slap around keys. I'm pretty aggressive with it. I don't know why. I do that in the field. I don't do that at home. And so, yeah, that's probably the reason you're hearing a lot of clicking. It's not that these are extra clicky keys or anything like that. I can do that to any key I have. I'm realizing now, though, I need to actually get in here and do a spot for myself. Add spot. I did not announce myself in advance, so 7.0625. Okay, I think this is 4861. Tuttle Educational State Forest, that's right. Okay. Does it not like that? Oh, it's saying in kilohertz. That's right. So 70, 62.5. There we go. Now it's happy. Okay, and I've got a spot out there. I better start operating, right? Oh, wait, let me tune first. There we go. Yeah, I think that works. Uh-oh. Oh no. Uh-oh. Oh no, it's doing keying issues. Oh, why do you have to do this? Oh no. Let me turn down the power a little bit. Maybe that'll make a difference. Let's see. I'm gonna knock it down to 2 watts. Let's try that. Okay, we'll see how this works. Oh no. This is not going to work. Arg! I'm going to spot myself QRT. Oh, what a shame. I've got to spot myself QRT. I cannot deal with this not keying properly. That's really disappointing. The RF choke that works, it's just, this thing is just super, super sensitive. I understand there's a modification I can do to it. So what I'm going to do instead is put up the MPAS Lite and deploy my end-fed half-wave that I used yesterday. And it worked fine yesterday, so it should work fine today, and we'll just go from there. Let's give this a go again. Okay, I'll be right back. I'm not going to show you all this taking down and putting up. Let's just use the magic of video editing, and we'll come back here with the end-fed half-wave intact. Okay, I'm back, and I have completely reconfigured everything. Basically, I'm using this little end-fed half-wave I used yesterday by MM0OPX. It's a 40-meter end-fed half-wave, and I ran it up through the same tree. In fact, I'm just using the tree as a support. I don't have a dielectric member or anything holding it up in the middle. I'm just having it go over the branches, over onto the other side over here, and tied off. It's actually in a really nice inverted V configuration. Right here is the end of the antenna. So it goes up into the tree and then down back over. I've also taken the coax and just kind of laid it on the ground, making sure it's not coiled up or anything like that, so it can act as a counterpoise. We'll see how this works. Really don't know, but we'll see how it works. Since I started doing this, the sun came up right in between the trees behind me. So we've got really strong shadows here. I'm hoping that I can kind of block this off. And I'm hoping the keying will work better this time. Really hope so. We'll see. It did yesterday when I was doing this, so I'm hoping that it will do it today. Boy, I tell you what. This sun is strong. Let me try to do this off to an angle or something. See if that's any better. Here we go. This will be kind of bright. I'm sorry about that, but it is what it is. There we go. So let's see. First of all. Okay, let me try something. I don't know if this will make any difference whatsoever. But this key is aluminum, so my fingertips are going to maybe add to the capacitance? No. Okay. I don't know. I guess we'll go for it. Okay, we'll try this. At least if you watch it later, you'll know exactly why I was making so many mistakes if I worked you today. So let's just see how this goes. Let me respot myself. And let me go back in here, move the RF power back up to 5, because why not, right? this is not going to work. Let me mark this in here, QRT, right now. I may try to fool around with the configuration of this antenna, maybe where the counterpoise is. I would be able to add like almost another RF choke in line. I've got one here, but the problem is this radio uses a PL259 at the back, and I don't have a BNC to PL259, and all of my common mode chokes use BNC because it's a very standard adapter. I don't even know if putting two common mode chokes in it makes sense at all anyway. I really don't know if that would make any difference. This is frustrating. So I've tried both a metal key, so like a key that would conduct, you know, a little bit with my fingers. I'd maybe add some capacitance or something, I don't know. Maybe an engineer could tell me, but obviously has zero effect on this. It's still skipping and doing weird things with the keyer. I really wish I would have brought my hand key along. If I had my hand key, maybe it wouldn't have as much of a problem. I don't know. It wouldn't be using the electronic keyer portion of it, but it could still have some issues. I don't know. But I would try it. I don't really want to do my entire activation using one side of my paddle as a straight key. I think that would about drive me bonkers. So I'm not planning to do that this go. Yeah, let me just try to reconfigure, try it again. Worst case scenario, I did bring my Elecraft KX1 with me. I just don't like doing videos with it right now because I don't have an external speaker, and it means I have to hook up my external microphone and all those other things to capture the audio. It's just a little less fun to set up and then edit later when I'm in a hurry. So let me see what I can do. I'll even try to think if I've got another antenna configuration in the car that I could try out with this, but this is a little frustrating, I gotta admit. Whatever modification I need to do this radio, I just need to do it. I need to figure out what it is and try to do it. Okay, I'll be right back in a moment. Okay, I'm back here and I've got the Elecraft KX1 set up, and I'm ready for a little bit of action now. I've got my recorder going on the side, so that's how you're hearing the audio. I don't have a speaker on here or anything like that. Let's see if we can give this a go. Now, I did a really quick test and it's resonant. It has no problems with keying or anything like that. This is my second KX1. I may have told you in the previous video, I'm not sure, or at least on QRP, or I'm sure I mentioned it, that actually this is my second KX1. This was built by a friend of a friend, actually a friend, who's just a superb kit builder, and it's just up to a much higher spec than my other KX1. So I'm going to fix up my other KX1, which is currently in the shop. I'm going to work on it this winter, fix it up. So I'll actually have two of them, which sounds crazy, but I'm absolutely in love with this radio. This is one of my very favorite QRP radios of all time. So to me, it's worth it. If you notice in the recording that the side tone sounds a little bit kind of soft, that has everything to do with this recorder and not the radio. For some reason, the AGC in the recorder sometimes like softens the attack of the side tone. So just notice that if that is what it is. I don't know how to change that. Anyway, let's get on the air and just try to make some contacts here. I'm running out of time. Let's see. Again, sorry for these really strong shadows, but that's just the way the sun's working today. Okay, let me spot myself one more time. Okay, let me go back here. Now I'll respot myself, and I'll say this is on, what is it? 70058. Here we go. I gotta move this camera out of the way. Oops. Okay. Right, got him. Okay, got him. Okay. Oh, I hate those digital modes on top. I'm getting pine rosin all over my arms. This is not 20 meters, this is 40 meters. What did I write down? 20 meters. I'm glad I noticed that. We may try 20 meters here. It looks like 40 is just not doing terribly well today. Part of this is my angle I'm doing this. It's just not quite ideal. Plus, it's just a bad fist. There we go. People always say, oh, I sounded so horrible in the air. Don't worry about your fist too much. Ugh. See how messy that is? Let's try 20 meters. 14,058. 20 meters CW. We'll give this a go and see if this works any better. You may be asking, why in the world am I using these paddles when I could use my other paddles? Well, it has to do with my patch cables. I have an extra one of these patch cables in my car. I'd have to dig in and get it. I just decided not to do that. And so I'm using my CW cable as an audio patch cable into my digital recorder. Now, one thing I could do, which would make this a little easier for me, is to record let's see here. Oh wait. Let me go back in here and try to record a... No, that's not what I want to do. Play. Record. Wait, let's see. Play. Did that do it? No. I've got to remember how to do this. I don't have my cheat sheet with me. Okay. You know what? We're just going to do it by hand because I need to finish this activation. I know how to do this. I've just got to remember. It's been so long since I've done this. Let's see. Let me just try it one more time here. Record. Messed it up. I know what I'm doing now. There we go. Record 1. Good. Now that actually played it, which means that maybe the reverse beacon network will catch... Okay. Is that right? Okay, wait. Sorry. He's going to slow down for me. Let's try this one more time. Hopefully that's right. Good to get you in here, buddy. Sorry about all that. Okay, K. That's right, not a W. there's more people here. Okay, wait, let me see. I am just behind. There we go. He's getting up to S9. Okay, wait. I'm having to write on the spine of this. I'm having to write on the spine of this. CPO. So I'm trying to smack a mosquito at the same time. You know why I heard K5PE? He's a little off frequency. Very clever. Did you hear that too? Wait a minute. Okay. Okay. Mosquitoes are flying all around my head right now. It's distracting. Oh, the adventure of POTA. It's an H, not an S. Ah, pine needles are sticking to me too. Oh no! Uh-oh. Band is flaky today, I can tell. Oh, I did that again. Okay. Okay. Okay, wait. Sorry, this is too many things going on here. There we go. Wait, I got K5PE again. Let's try that again. Okay, I've already got you in the logs here. Okay, maybe they realized they worked me again. They may just want confirmation they worked me. They were asking for RST. There we go. Yeah, I'm really weak on their end. There we go. So I didn't re-record K5PE here because this is so close in time. It's within 10 minutes. And I've already worked them. Lots of J's in the calls today. By the way, my output power here is about 3 watts with the KX1. This is performing beautifully though. Did you hear where I was getting mixed up? His W and A was a little close together. And my brain was interpreting it weirdly. Another PA. These paddles work surprisingly well. Actually, I've already worked him once before, but maybe he thought I didn't get it. I'm gonna put a star beside that. Anybody else? I'll do one more call and then I really do need to pack up. Okay, we'll do one more here. We'll take some photos while I'm thinking about it. I do love my KX1s. Okay. Okay, I'll turn that off before anybody calls me. Yay. Man, I tell you what, I love my KX1s. I say ones, it's plural now because I've got two, but I love this radio. And you see, this radio had no issue at all with any kind of RF coming back on it. In fact, I wouldn't need an inline choke for this or anything. It's just the 703 is really sensitive to it, so I need to take care of that. I don't know. I'm going to look up some mods or something. One of my readers at one point on QRT.com did mention that there was some kind of mod I could do to this to help it out, so that's what I'm going to plan to do. Now I need to pack up. I'm going over to visit my buddy Hamilton at his studio and then head on over maybe to Table Rock Fish Hatchery. Haven't quite decided. But I know this, I'll need to schedule my activation if I head out there because I won't have any sort of cell phone connection out there. So I need to do that. But this was mighty fun. This has to go down as one of the videos with the longest intro with 2 different starts on the 703 before moving over to the KX2. But man, the KX2 is just, it always comes through for me. Again, I would have used a separate cable. I only use these paddles normally when I'm using the KX3, like on a knee board or something like that on a trail. I usually don't use these, but I found that actually it requires a very light touch. Some people don't like these paddles. I've always liked them. They've worked for me just fine. My keying weirdness with them had to do with where I was placing the camera when we had all of that sunlight hitting it so hard. I just wanted a better operating position, so I moved the camera back a little bit. But I'm glad I made it through this thing alive. And thank you so much for following along. If you've made it this far, congratulations. You need to win some sort of award. I'll have to think of a good award for you. But hey, and for people, I've been getting a lot of questions. Hopefully by now, I've probably already posted this on my blog. But for people who own the KX1, one thing I always tell you with any radio that's discontinued, and this one's been discontinued for a while, you may want to get some spare parts for it, just in case something goes out. I did order spare pots for my KX1s. I have spare buttons that I got from Mouser, the spare switches, spare ports, some of the things that may be a little harder to find later on. I also have spare finals. I even bought a spare LED display, and a lot of that's the reason why is because the cost per part's not that high with Elecraft, but I do have to ship it anyway, so I just threw in a few extra parts. Oh yeah, and a spare encoder. These encoders are very easy because Elecraft uses them in a bunch of different radios, so yeah, works just fine. Anyway, I need to pack up, head out of here, and again, thank you for following along for such a long, convoluted activation. But you know, that's the whole thing about POTA and SOTA and everything else. When you go to the field and you're not in this controlled environment like you have at your house, for example, things happen. I never go out on like a multi-park run. Like if I'm going away for a few days and I'm going to do multiple parks, I usually try to take a backup radio with me. I have the luxury of being able to do that. So I usually have 2 radios in my car. I actually keep 1 radio in my car at all times. I always make sure there's at least 1 in my car. And in this case, you know, I had 2. I had the 703 and I brought the KX1 with me. The only annoyance with the KX1 whatsoever is when I'm doing a video, I have to hook up an inline recorder or hook up an external speaker with it. And usually my KX1's just when I'm going out and just doing an activation on my own and not even filming it. Because I film maybe 70% of my activations, something like that, I think. So I'll take the KX1 out because it's just great to have just a little radio with a pair of earphones. Now, one thing you may have noticed is the power went out on it at one point. That's because this plug is just a little loose in there. And if I tap it or mess with it, it comes out. This is actually the battery pack for the KX2, not the KX1. What I really need to do is just have a different power cord coming out so I can take some of the strain off that, because I was touching it and messing with it while I was holding it to do the keying. That's normally not an issue. But anyway, hey, this was a lot of fun for me. Let me get this stuff packed up. It looks like I brought everything with me. It's actually not that much, but I'm going to pack this up, head out of here. And again, thank you so much for joining me. And until next time, 7 threes.